what's up, everybody? We're at the halfway point of the NFL season. We're heading into week 9. I'm Jason.
I'm Brian.
Last week, not a very good week, a tough week actually. Going into the last game, I had a chance to be 8-5, but Kansas City, as you said, made it, interesting. Held on, won the stupid game in overtime. Philip Rivers,
A.K.A. Philip Romo.
Yeah, F you. It's called Vincent Jackson. Throw him to him. Dirty trombones are hurting for wide receivers, and if he doesn't throw to Vincent Jackson, I'm really hurting. Anyway, I was 7-6 overall last week. For the year, I'm 58, 53, and 5.
And I was 7-6 also, thanks to Kansas City, and I'm 59, 52, and 5.
First of all, we have Atlanta. They're a 7-point favorite at Indy. Screw Indianapolis. I'm sick of picking them on these numbers. I mean, they have not covered one squatting thing. I think they're a team that's desperately in search of something, and I don't think they know what it is. So I'm going to take Atlanta right now. 7 points, easy.
Yeah, Atlanta coming off a bye. I like them in this spot. For some reason, anytime I pick Indy to cover, they don't. When I don't, they do. I won't be surprised if they do. But they're 1-8 in their last 9 home games in November against the spread, so I'm taking Indy to cover.
Next up, we have New Orleans at home against Tampa. 8-point favorite for New Orleans. New Orleans, 2 weeks ago, 62 points. Last week, they lost to our St. Louis Rams.
What was that stat you said about the teams over 60 points?
Yeah, teams that scored over 60 points, it's happened 8 times, I think, in regular season. They're 2-6 the following week. A great stat to know last week when I'm picking these stupid games.
It's a lock.
Yeah, it would have been a lock, if I'd have known that. But as a stat that came out over the week, us living in St. Louis, obviously, we heard a lot about this game. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa in this one. I don't know if they win, but they cover the 8 points.
Yeah, I like Tampa also. They just played a couple weeks ago. Tampa beat them on the at home. Tampa is 7-1 against the spread their last 8 games at New Orleans. Seems to be one team they have their numbers, so I like Tampa Bay to cover here.
Next up, we have Houston at home, a 10.5-point favorite against Cleveland. Even without Andre Johnson, Houston's finding a way to win these games and win these games very handily. I don't know. This actually might be, better for them in the long run with not having Andre Johnson, because when they get him back, good Lord. But I'm going to take Houston to cover this 10.5. Cleveland, Peyton Hillis got hurt again. Who knows? I don't think he'd help anyway. But
yeah.
I'm going to take Houston.
Yeah, and big part of this, for Houston is their defense. I think the last 2 weeks have held teams under 200 yards. Really looked good, and that's a big bonus for Houston. I'm taking Houston to cover also. One stat I found, Houston under Kubiak is 28-2, and they rush the ball 30-plus times. So I would figure you're going to see a good dose of Foster here, and I like Houston to cover.
Next up, we have Buffalo at home hosting the New York Jets. Buffalo's a 2-point favorite. I am actually going to take Buffalo. A couple things. Mark Sanchez is the Jets quarterback. Actually, I got 3 things. Second of all, Buffalo's defense is interception hungry, man. They love it. And third, the Jets are 0-2 after the bye week under Ryan. So I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo.
Okay, and I'm going to take the Jets. Jets are 4-1 straight up and against the spread their last 5 games at Buffalo. No Buffalo's playing well. It all comes down to Sanchez. If he can control the turnovers, I think the Jets win this one. So I'm taking the Jets to cover the 2 points at Buffalo.
Next up, we got Kansas City at home, coming off their win in overtime against San Diego. They're a 4-point favorite over Miami. I don't like Miami at all in this game, especially on the road. This is my lock of the week is Kansas City. Now, you're going to see why I kind of laughed at that,
because I'm taking Miami. Kansas City has really turned around after starting out those first 2 games. Jonathan Baldwin looked really good. Another go-to guy for Castle to pair up with Dwayne Bowe. But I'm looking for a little bit of a letdown after that San Diego game. It was a Monday night game. They got one less day to prepare. Miami did not look bad against New York Giants. You could say that they had a chance to win that game. And Miami is 6-2-1 against the spread against Kansas City their last 9 games. So I'm going to take Miami to cover. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I like them to cover the 4 points here.
Next up, we got San Francisco going to Washington. They're a 3.5-point favorite. Shanahan, first shutout ever. I mean, that's amazing, actually, if you think about it. San Francisco's defense is just playing tough right now. I don't think Beck's going to be able to get around it. Give Frank Gore the ball, do what they can do in the passing game, which is just enough to win 3.5 points. I'm going to take San Francisco.
Yeah, my lock of the week, I like San Francisco here. They're 6-0-1 against the spread this year. Washington, in their last 12 games, have not played well against the NFC West, which some people say is the weakest division. You've got a back, Terrain, which could be a starter, but he's a backup on their team. No Hightower, no Santana Moss. You've got a backup quarterback going. I like San Francisco to win this game and cover.
Next up, we have Dallas at home facing Seattle. Dallas is an 11.5-point favorite at home. I don't like that at all. Dallas, like I said, they beat our Rams a couple weeks ago. Looked like crap against Philadelphia last week. I think Seattle's going to be able to do enough to stay in this game, and they're not going to win, but I think they should be able to cover the spread, so I'm taking Seattle.
And I'm going to take Dallas. Seattle looked terrible last week at home against Cincinnati, a game I thought they would show up and play better in. As bad as Dallas played on the road, I've got to expect they're going to turn around this week. They're 5-0 against the spread since 2004 against Seattle. I look for them to go 6-0. I like Dallas.
Next up, we got Oakland at home against Denver. Oakland's a 7-point favorite. Now, this line, I looked at the line a couple days ago, and it's actually kept going down. With the touchdown favorite, I'm going to take Oakland. I don't care who's quarterbacking for Oakland this week. I think they'll be able to get by Denver. Denver right now is set up to fail. And there's just, when they put Tebow in, I really think it was Fox saying, here's what you want. But I think they set him up to fail overall. Oakland's defense is going to be able to get after him enough that Tebow's going to be kind of ineffective like he was last week against Detroit. I really think Detroit's defense and Oakland's defense, the way they're going to go after him and attack him, are going to be almost the exact same. No McFadden, which sucks for Oakland, but I still think they've got enough to get this win. So.
Yeah, I can't see Denver covering 7.
No.
I think Tebow started out well last year when he played. I think he's regressed almost every game.
Yeah.
I just don't see a lot out of this offense, so I've got to take Oakland at home and cover 7.
Next up, we have Tennessee at home against Cincinnati. I'm taking Cincinnati. I think this might be the first time this year. Tennessee, Chris Johnson, and I don't know if he's on his way out as being the starter. I think Ringer's been getting
some more carries.
And being a lot more effective. I think Cincinnati's defense is actually going to keep them not even close enough in this game. I think it'll actually help them win this game with Dalton and Green,
Simpson,
and
you got Gresham at tight end.
Right. And I think they're going to be able to move the ball in Tennessee, even being at home. So I'm going to take Cincinnati to go ahead and win this game.
Yeah, this is my upset of the week. I like Cincinnati to not only cover, but to win on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee's just not the same. Johnson has not played well. You've lost Kenny Britt for the year. I like Cincinnati in this game.
Next up, we have our St. Louis Rams traveling to Arizona. Who knows who's starting at quarterback for anybody? I think Skeletor from He-Man.
Yeah, Skeletor.
Skeleton's probably starting in this game. Sam Bradford's a game-time decision. Don't look for him to start in this game. I really think, like you were saying, it's probably more of a ploy to make him try and
prepare for both.
Exactly. But if he's anywhere close to being hurt, they're not going to play him.
No, not even worth risking him.
Last week, our St. Louis Rams are now Super Bowl contenders because we beat the New Orleans Saints at home and beat them quite handily, if you ask me. Our defense showed up. Long, finally showed up, 3 sacks, holy crap.
Quinn, the rookie.
Yeah, and I really think they'll be able to put up enough pressure, and I think Steven Jackson's going to be able to move the ball against Arizona's defense. So I'm going to take St. Louis as my upset pick to win this game on the road.
Yeah, I'm taking St. Louis to cover here. Even though Arizona's 8-1 straight up in their last 9 against St. Louis, like you said, the defense last week showed up for St. Louis, and the big thing was that in first and second down, they didn't allow them to get yardage. Almost consistently, it was 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 19 for New Orleans. And when you do that, that gives these guys like Long and Quinn the ability to get to the passer. And when you've got a backup there, you've got Beanie Wells questionable.
Yep.
Don't know if he's going to play. I like I like St. Louis to cover here.
Yeah, like I said, I really think they can win. Break out the Kool-Aid, man.
And if Arizona wins, we'll be homers, but that's all right. At least you're joining me this time.
Next up, we have New England at home hosting the New York Giants. New York Giants are first place in their division. I think it is. It's been smoke and mirrors. I know. Eli Manning's been playing really well.
Eli's, I think third in the league.
No Hakeem Nicks this week. New England goes home after their loss last week to Pittsburgh. I really think they rebound. 9-point favorite for New England. I'm going to go ahead and take New England to cover.
And I'm going to take the Giants. You know, the only thing I'm concerned about really is Ahmad Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if he's playing a little, broken bone in the foot. They're saying, he's possible he could play. With or without him, though, Giants twice in the last 4 years have been 8-point dogs. They've covered both, and both of them came against New England. I like the Giants to cover in this game.
Yeah, next up we have Green Bay going out to San Diego. Till the Packers or somebody can find a way to just beat them. I don't think San Diego can do it. Phillip Rivers, screw you. Show up and play. He's frustrating as hell because I've got 2 players on my fantasy team, and I see what they're doing. And Phillip Rivers just needs to do what he does best and throw the damn ball. And I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to take the Packers right now. I don't think San Diego will be able to stick with them.
Yeah, I've got to take Green Bay. They're 8-0 against the spread. Their last 8 against the AFC West. San Diego's 2-7. Their last 9 against the spread. Green Bay coming off a bye. They're healthy. I just can't see going against Green Bay on this game.
Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The first time these two met, Baltimore put a whipping on them.
Well, yep.
And Baltimore, since then, they won last week, but it was the Cardinals, and you let them run a crap load of points on you, and you had to come back to win this one. Pittsburgh, I don't think they have a letdown from last week's beat of the Patriots. 3 points. I'm going to go ahead and take Pittsburgh at home. I don't think Baltimore has got the offense. I think Pittsburgh's defense actually is going to just really shut them down. So
yeah, the one thing I worry about with Pittsburgh is I know Woodley is probably not going to play. Harrison may not play. It's 2 big players on the defense. But even with that said, Baltimore 2-5-1 their last 8 against Pittsburgh against the spread. Pittsburgh at home, I went against them last week. I regret doing it. I can't do it 2 weeks in a row. I'm taking Pittsburgh to cover here. I think they want to pay back for that first game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Pittsburgh last week, I think they had 50 pass attempts. They literally patrioted the Patriots.
Yeah, they got some good young receivers. Brown, Sanders are really making this.
And if they could get Mendenhall going, look out. I really think they're right now.
Might be tough to do against Baltimore, but.
Yeah, but I think Ben Roethlisberger, like I said, he might just do the same thing he did last week. Keep those just dump passes and just go.
Exactly.
So, next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, a 7.5-point favorite. Chicago is actually going to Philadelphia. I'm going to take Philadelphia. The half point scares the shit out of me. But I really think Philadelphia can win this game. Their defense looked a lot better last week against Dallas. I think maybe on the bye week they worked on some things that they had saw in the previous 6 games leading up to that. So I'm going to take Philadelphia to go ahead and cover the 7.5.
Yeah, and what looked good for Philly was their defense is looking better. They did not look good the first several weeks. I'm actually going to take Chicago in this one. They're 7-2 against the spread on Monday Night Football. The road team in this series between these 2 teams has won 6 of the last 8 games. Chicago's on the road, 7.5 points. I think Philadelphia will win. Will they cover 7.5? I don't think so. I like Chicago to just keep it close.
And this one probably wouldn't surprise me if it's a 7-point, but Anyway, our Cardinals, World Series champions. Raleigh Squirrel gone. We got our shirts, $25 a pop. They only sold about 50 billion of these. Congratulations to our Cardinals. What a ride, what a rush. Joe Buck said it, at the end of that. It was. You're talking 1 month straight.
It was 2 months.
2 months
just
straight.
To make it to the playoffs.
And
then a month of just always on the verge.
I came down with a cold right after the last pitch, and I've had it for a week because it was just so draining. Anyway, we'll see how we did. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care. Hey, kid.